Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Convention Confessional. My name is Katy Hunt, and I'm here to guide you through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the convention world with a little help from my friends sometimes. And back for more abuse is my friend Rob. Hi, Rob.
Hello.
How are you, dear?
Oh, just waiting for the paddle.
Yeah, right. Take two.
Take two. One for
Oh,
wincing.
man.
Um,
Yeah, right. Oh, you flinched. Rob's back today because, as we said in our last episode a few months ago now, the stories weren't done. There's so many more. And you're here today because you have a continuation, as it were, into your journey as a cosplayer.
yeah, it's really just like what was the aftermath of your first costume and going so well
Hmm.
as it did, but also
Right.
just the fact that when I got into the making the second one, it's kind of like lightning striking twice in a way. Um, but really can't get into that without having the first one. So it really is a continuation. But I do have to say,
Right.
it's really fun is that they're re-releasing the
Hmm.
game that inspired this next costume.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
This week, right?
I believe this week. Yeah, that's why I was like, hey, we got to do it now. We got to do this. We're gonna record. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Yes. All of a sudden, a text message from Robbie's just like, record on Sunday. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I was like, wait, is it April? Oh, crap. It's April.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Oh crap, it's April.
Like, oh, ugh. So this costume, I believe, is the one that I officially met you in. Yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
yes, that awkward encounter,
At the artist
as it
alley
were.
table, which that became a thing for a few years. Yeah. Yes.
Friends.
So I had Bash the Stampede,
Hmm.
all the success and that went in with that, and then the next one was Lynx from Chrono Cross, which is not a sequel to Chrono Trigger. It's a duality, like parallel to Chrono Trigger, but yeah, the SquareSoft game Chrono Cross, Lynx, the main villain. Mwahaha. But for people who are not quickly googling right now, he is a lynx. He is a humanoid cat.
He's a
He's
lion.
a lion. He's a lynx. Um,
It's a lion.
or and so that just whole brings it up to the whole thing. But to really get started was just the fact that so after Bash and all the success, finishing up my college year, my senior year,
Hmm.
like life like kind of changed because I wasn't with my friends all the time that I like lived with because we all graduated and moved away, and so
Hmm.
the convention people started becoming the first instance of the new family, the new people in my life. Hate to say
Hmm.
not all of them are still here anymore in my life, but
We've lost a few members. Yeah.
a few people dropped off. But it was really like it was also like a metamorphosis of my life. It's like, okay, now what? You have a BFA in illustration. What are you gonna do now, MF? But it was one of those things. Is like I started also. This is also when I started knowing what a internet forum was,
Hmm.
because people are like, oh, you should, Anime Boston has a forum. Make an account. I'm like, okay. Oh, there's this thing called cosplay.com. What?
Oh,
You know,
such an ancient archive that it is.
2004. Yeah, and then yeah, prevalent was communication was AOL Instant Messenger, good old AIM, and so all these things like became more prevalent. So like I'm starting to meet all these people online who I ships in the night at a convention met, and everything starts changing. And so I go through my summer, I take my fall, I decide, what, I just graduated, I'm going to go travel, and I went up to New Zealand for 6 weeks by myself.
Hmm.
And then like I literally came back, and someone says, "Oh, we're having a masquerade ball in Providence, cosplay ball." I'm like, "Okay." I had nothing to
Oh
wear.
my god, I forgot about
Yeah, I
that.
just made a mask and like wore a tux. It's like I just traveled. I had nothing. You know,
I just went to New
I
Zealand.
was feeling like I got a tattoo.
I just got back from New Zealand. I was trying to find myself and some hobbits.
I do have a picture of me in front of Bag End.
You do.
I
I
do.
love it.
Um, Okay, so basically, as a summary up now, so going from 2004 and going into 2005, like, I have more of a life online about, talking about cosplays, about what people are making and stuff like that. But me, I'm still like, I'm not traveling to a bunch of conventions yet. I'm still like, I'm still a newbie. I don't, a lot of the ones I won't go to now weren't like in New England, didn't exist then, Uh,
Right.
and so then, I'm just talking. And I decided, you know what? I've been getting so much feedback, like positive feedback for Bash. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just throw it out in the ether and go, what should I make? What should be the number two costume? Like, that would be the next great thing that Sketch makes. The ego is just brewing and
Uh,
growing at this point.
hey, Anime Boston, what do you want to see me cosplay
Yeah, I
as?
pulled that. I pulled that before other
I
people
know.
did that. And
Hmm.
so, someone who is still a delight to ever see whenever I bump into her at a convention. I ended up like nicknaming Pinku, but as a friend of mine named Krista, and she goes, "You need to do links. You need to do. This is the most outrageous costume I think anyone in the era of 2005 could try to produce. Here it is." And I was like, "Ooh!" I instantly got jazzed. I'm like, "This is inspiring me to try to like push myself." And that's usually what a lot of my early costumes were. It's like, how do I push myself? And so I look at it, look at the photos. I go online, I outbid people for the statues, the PVC statues that were very big in the era. Because this game is actually kind of old. And so I'd like to find this stuff too. I bought art books, all this stuff, got all this material to try to figure it out. And it was just like, okay, let's go. Again, this is like the same problem I had with Bash. Is like, where do I find the materials? I don't know materials. I don't know what's a twill, what's a bottom weight. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just like, this fabric.
Right.
This fabric feels right. This fabric like is flapping in the store right.
This looks nice.
Like even if it was one of those things. It was such a slow process. Like I happened to go visit my sister down in Atlanta, and she had to go to Joann's to buy something for some project she had at the time, and I find the two vinyls I want to use.
Because of course you did, because you're a lucky fuck.
Yeah, and I found it. Like, oh god, this is great. Like, this one's really shiny, this one's really matte. And I'm like, all right, I just bought yards of fabric and threw it in my suitcase and flew back home. I'm like,
Now I'm over the weight limit in my suitcase with like 10 yards of vinyl.
nah, you didn't need 10 yards for that costume. No, that's no. But it was just funny
Not that
because
one.
you see stuff like that. But so what came down to what was really stumping me, I'm like, how do I do this? How do I make myself look like a cat? I don't want to face paint. I don't want to face paint. I don't want to just like
That's fair.
draw like little lines on me and like paint my nose black. I'm like, no, no, this is not the way Sketch makes a costume.
No, no.
No. We got to do this differently. So I go, okay, what do you need to make, the movie prosthetics?
Second costume.
Second costume. Let's do what the professionals do. Second costume.
Oh, God. Because, of course you did.
Of course you
Like,
do.
the makeup for it, though, is like, I mean, because you've done two versions of it, because you redid it again. Like, you redid the face makeup. You didn't remake the costume,
Well,
right?
I redid the face makeup, but basically I went down the same route as before. So I did research about like life casts,
Mm
clay sculpture, casting that. What's the
hmm. Mm
difference between cold foam or hot foam polyurethane? Like the latex.
hmm. Mm
We
hmm.
got this costume fur, like the to make beards and stuff like that. Finding all the stuff, and then I ended up finding a company called ScreamTeam.com that just sells the masks. They just sell random masks like goblins, Voldemort, all this stuff, and they had the face mask for Beast from that like '90s like Beauty and the Beast soap opera show.
Ron
Ron
Perlman!
Perlman.
Ron Perlman! It was the best show ever! And it got canceled.
All great things get canceled.
Talk about aging ourselves.
I know.
Like, forget that we've cosplayed since 2004 aspect. We're talking about a show about, it was Beauty and the Beast, but it was a cop show, but he was the Beast, and he lived in the sewers, and she was like a cop. And they were solving crimes.
Talk about a show that needs
Oh
to be
my,
rebooted
right now.
right
Get
now.
me Ron
But
Perlman.
no, but yeah, they made a mask that was based off Ron Perlman's Beast, and I'm like,
So good.
perfect. All right, we'll start there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
So
very good start.
so then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to apply this. I'm not gonna, do what I normally do, even years after this. You know, try everything on for the first time at the convention.
Good call. Solid.
I thought, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dedicate a Saturday. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to glue a latex mask to my face and learn how to do that by doing it.
Hmm.
And also apply just like the undercoat coloring, kind of figure, I'll paint that and I'll glue fur on, but I didn't do the fur part. So I'm like, no one needs anything from me today. I'm not expecting to do anything today. I'm home alone, or I'll be home alone for half a day, and I'll just sit and watch TV wearing a latex beast mask. This is what
Uh
people
huh.
do, right? Everyone else does.
Yeah,
This is all
exactly.
completely
Normal,
normal.
total normal behavior. Yep.
Completely normal behavior.
It's called a cause test, people.
Cause
Hello.
test, hello. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit here. I'm like, all right, do. Oh, okay, this is kind of weird. It kind of feels like I'm exercising my face. Ding dong.
Anyway, I'm like, somebody caught you in this mask.
No,
Was it? No?
I did not answer the door.
Ah! Don't look at me. I'm an animal.
Arr.
Quite literally. Rawr.
Well,
Poor FedEx man. That would have been funny though. You like whip the door open with a
what?
hello.
Hello. Give me my package.
Oh, now I just want you to do that at your house, like on the normal. Just like answer the door in full beast mode. Okay,
You're
but
having
like
way
the
too
real
much fun on
question,
this.
it's amazing. Like the real question though, like the
Mhm.
honest true question is like, did your parents catch you in it?
Oh no, they knew my plans for the whole day because I still was living with them at the time.
Right, right. But I mean, like, did they come home and you were like in it?
No, there was one point when I was still trying to get it on, and my dad was like knocking on the bathroom door, like, "I want to see, I want to see." I'm like, "No, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, if he wants to see, open the door.
Leave me alone. Find this out."
No, Dad, I need
Um,
to figure it out on my own.
no, but it was like it's true. It's a true test fashion too. I also want to like, how long can I stand wearing this thing? Because like, how long am I gonna be wearing this during a day? Like, what's my day gonna look like? Do I want to like
Oh
get myself in
yeah.
the morning or something like that? So yeah, it's like I thought it was a good idea. I'm sure there's some photo buried in my old desktop of me just like making faces in the mirror. Rawr, rawr. um,
So the test worked out,
the
and
t-
the mask was great.
yeah, it was great, and like I learned how to clean it up a little bit because you can get about a few good uses out of it
Hmm.
if you take care of it.
Right,
So I'm like, all right, I'll just take it off slowly, dissolving the spirit gum and cleaning it all up,
waxing your face.
washing off the paint as much as I can, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is gonna work. All right. And so then everything else comes down to like just like making the costume. I thought, you know what? He has this like ripped chest. I'm gonna actually like sculpt like a prosthetic chest, and I'm gonna wear it
What? Do you,
underneath.
wait, are you telling me you weren't ripped, Rob?
Oh, I am a doughboy. No, but this is just funny because like I sat there for a full month
Mm.
sculpting the better part of a torso,
Hmm.
of ripped muscles, and trying to make a mold and trying to do cold foam latex in there just to whatever, and it failed.
No, not your rippling pectorals.
It failed. It failed so hard. I'm just like, God damn it. um, No, it was just like it was like one of the first failures in making the costume. I was like, oh man, I've spent all this money on this stuff and it didn't work. So it was bad. That was bad. So you don't see that in the final product. I just made it tight. And I was like, all right,
Hey, I mean, you'd never know.
no, you would.
It looks amazing.
And yeah, that was taking my skills with the feeder foot, trying to get that thing made.
Mm,
I made an invisible zipper in the back. Never done that.
hmm.
Just figured it out. My sister, who was like, "Oh, how's the sewing going?" "Oh, I put in an invisible zipper." She's like, fuck you.
And she hangs up on the phone call. Yeah, sounds right. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like the other thing too is like so Lynx has a gold accents and gold undercape and everything like that, and I'm like can't find gold fabric, so I can't find vinyl. Now I find vinyl, I can't find gold, so I end up going to
Hmm.
Lynn to a furniture fabric store and bought like remnant yards of like some like fuzzy like fleece or something to use as the accent of the cape. And I'm just
God,
like,
trim is the worst thing to
it
find
is, it
sometimes.
is. And then making trim out of that, like make
Oh yeah.
like it was not how I make. I know how to make bias tape now. Like I did not know what I was doing then. I was just like, I fold this and it stitch it down.
This look good. This work.
That's good. That's good. Um, and so the costume came together, made pants, made some boot covers, stuff like that. Was having trouble making like his little like armor gold accent pieces, which I made out of latex poured in a mold.
Hmm.
They came out bumpy as all hell, but they were what they were. The hat's foam wrapped in fabric, leftover polyurethane sheets from a failed attempt at making stormtrooper armor for a friend and stuff like that. But I think what was really fun was that like I decided, hey, he's got a wicked prop. He has a scythe axe.
Yeah, he does.
And so this is what probably gave me the foothold of being like known for being the prop guy is mainly because of this thing.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I would love to make another one, but it's one of those
Why?
because it's been over almost 20 years. I probably could do a lot more accurate of a job, and I did a pretty damn
Rob,
good
shut
job.
up.
What
Just shut up.
you
Shut.
made
That thing
you?
is perfect.
I know it's perfect. I love it. I love it. It's still one of my
But I
favorite
feel like
things I've
you
ever
can do
made.
better. You can do better than perfect. Okay, Rob. You know what? This is done. We're done.
We're done. Okay, fine, fine. Good night, people. Good night, everybody. Good night. We just
That
have an
thing is
episode.
beautiful.
No, I'm
It's like,
not.
like
No,
this.
I'm. What I'm
No,
saying,
stop.
I'm
You are.
saying I want to remake it. Doesn't mean that I'm devaluing what it was
You
before.
you do this every time.
What? How do you get better
All
at
right.
anything? You do it over and over again. How do you get better at a
Yeah.
costume? You make another costume, you make
You're
the
a
next costume, then you
masochist,
remake the
Rob.
costume you made when you were a
A
kid.
masochist.
What?
A masochist. Like
I'm
literally,
a
just like
flute
you make.
maker. I'm a sadist. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy the
Literally,
pain.
like it's beautiful. They're beautiful props. All the props you make are beautiful.
I
He
know.
made okay.
It can also be beautiful.
Time out perspective.
Oh Jesus.
Rob made me. Yeah, shut up. Rob made me the Sword of Gryffindor because I had texted him and I was like, "Hey, you made a Sword of Gryffindor for your Godric Gryffindor cosplay that you did. I'm doing this Harry Potter like stunt down at Kineticon for the masquerade. I'm like, is there any chance you could recreate the sword for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I can." Because okay, fine, scales it down to my size
Mm-hmm.
because Rob is a bigger man than I am, so it would be silly for me to have the same size sword, obviously. And then gives it to me and proceeds to be like, "Oh, I mean, like, it's not my best work. Here I am sitting here with like this perfect like replica of a sword." And I'm like, "Are you joking me?" So I think that was like the entire weekend we all sent you pictures of us, like looking at it kind of like, it's okay. Right? I think everybody sent you a picture
Yes, which
holding this.
it's perfectly fine, perfectly legit. I'm not saying that was wrong. It's a good way to keep your friend's ego in check. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that I would love to remake it to like relive the making of that prop, that the scythe axe.
Because you think you can make it better.
I could probably make certain things a lot better, a lot stronger.
I knew
Sure,
it.
sure. But that's not
All
why I
right,
want to do it. I want to
can I have the old one then?
yeah, for a
Just like
thousand
hold it.
dollars.
Yeah, there it is.
Never
Anyways,
do
it's
anything for free.
beautiful.
No, no, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it.
It's
It was
gorgeous.
when
So nice.
I like remade the costume later in life. I did not remake the
Hmm.
prop. I maybe like
He
fixed
did not because it's
I
stunning.
maybe fixed a few broken parts on it and like replaced a few gems that fell off, but
Sure.
I didn't make a new one because I didn't have
Right.
to. But that thing is made out of plywood.
It's huge. I mean, it's like almost as tall as you are, isn't it? Like it's a big sickle.
No, it's not. But it's what's funny is that in 2005, like in 2004, one of the friends I made in the masquerade behind stage ended up being my Harl, um,
Hmm.
which is Lynx's little subordinate. Um, and it was just really funny because like I made an illustration file, the vector file, so I could scale it and print it out and test like what scale I want it to be. And that thing ended up being taller than her, with
Yeah.
that like 5'4" it is. It's that long. I mean, a broadsword's 4 feet, in general.
Yeah.
So it's tall. Like I can put it in front of me and have like my elbows raised.
Well, I mean, you're what? You're 6'2"?
On a good day, but yeah.
On a good day. Yeah. So, I mean, okay, imagine Rob being like over 6 feet and he's got a 5'4" sickle that he's holding up over his head. It's huge.
Yeah,
It looks huge.
it's intimidating. I,
It is very
I
intimidating.
took on a Sephiroth. Uh,
Nee, 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 nee,
yeah.
nee, nee.
But no, I love it. Like like again, like making that prop was great because like I was just like grabbing random tools from my dad's garage, a router, jigsaw, everything like that. But and then like was carving it and painting it, and I tin leafed the blade, and then I was gonna gold leaf the whole thing, but I was just like, it's not the right color, so I just gold leaf brushed the whole thing, and then
Mhm.
I got like some random air pump, not even a proper pump, air pump, and like got like some random airbrush that was somewhere. I don't know where this thing came from, and like started doing all the details on it because it's kind of computer esthetic, like computer like circuit board detail
Mhm.
in between the blades. Um,
Mhm.
and around, and then like it's domino esque, like with like the different like shapes of like teardrops to orbs and bends and stuff like that. And I just airbrushed the thing, and I've never done that before. I was like, I'm just gonna airbrush, do, and the thing just like it would putter, so it's like. So it wasn't like a straight line. It was just like if you look really close, you see like pop, 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 like Morse code. Um, like I painted it, like I wrapped it in the handle in fabric. There's GIMP on it. I used GIMP. Kids,
Oh
do you know what
God.
GIMP is?
No, they don't.
Yeah. Um, the plastic bracelet stuff from camp. I used
Mhm.
that to like wrap around it to give it some texture too. Learned my mistake from the Vash gun that wasn't clear coated. Clear coated the hell out of that thing, so I
Yep.
wasn't leaving
Yep.
silver dust on everybody.
Perfect.
But yeah, so like I was like, okay. So in the interim too is that people are like, oh, you have an illustration degree. There's these things called webcomics. You should make a webcomic. People, unless you have a story, don't make a webcomic.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called again? Sketched Out Life?
Sketched out life, like past tense
Yeah.
sketched. I don't know. It just kind of came down to me. It was kind of like my so called life, like sketched out life.
Right.
And it's one of those things. I'm trying to tell a story. I haven't lived anything yet. So I guess if I were to have one now and kept that title, which I still have the URL.
I honestly think after so many years not touching it, for you to put out like one comic with it would be hysterical. Like, what was I thinking?
Why?
I'm
Why?
42 now.
Why? 21.
Why?
Um, no, I actually think if I were to do it, it'd be kind of like for better or worse, but cosplay dad.
Yes.
I
Perfect.
think there's a market there. And so the people convinced me to do that, and then another guy's like, "Oh, I want to make props too." I'm like, "Okay, you make good props." I'm like, all right. He's like, "Okay, like can we like make a company?" Like I'm like, "Well, we can have a name and make stuff. I don't know about it being a company." And so then like a month later, he was like, "I just filled in all the paperwork. We're official." I'm like, "We are? What? We're
Eh?
officially a prop company? What the hell is going on?" I'm like, okay. And like we're sitting there to like trying to figure out like stuff to sell. He's like, t-shirts are going to be big, and like no one made t-shirts back then. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
you kids get all your little fan t-shirts now. We started it. Um,
Yeah.
we had Evangelion suits, but as t-shirts,
Yeah, I
and
remember those.
we had Full Metal Alchemist uniform as a t-shirt.
They were big too.
Oh yeah, and then we also had the dreaded sketch T-shirts that notoriously said "Sketch created, fangirl approved." See, this is what the internet does to somebody. This is what the internet does.
Yes, the internet.
I think
Right.
I think
The
I, I
internet.
think I finally ragged the last one.
Did you?
I wore it out to death. I wore it
Aww.
whenever I worked on anything messy like painting and whatnot.
Maybe we should make like an anniversary edition.
No, we shouldn't.
Come on.
Most of the proceeds go to something,
Of course they would. We'd have to give them to a charity of some kind, obviously. To be continued.
To be continued. We'll pin that brainstorming idea for later.
But you guys also had the goggles that had the different filters in them.
Yeah, because goggles, steampunk was kicking in again, kicking up, and we knew how to cut the acrylic plastics en masse,
Hmm.
and we also cut like little steel plates to go over
Yep.
them and stuff like that, so you could have like crosshairs or like some symbol. And we also wasn't then, but eventually we started having Naruto headbands, but with like all the other logos,
Yep.
and that was the thing.
Have one.
Yeah.
I have the goggles and I have the headband. And the headband that I had was the Full Metal Alchemist symbol.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, like that was the early years, but that was, I never saw one dime of profit from that.
No?
No,
Really?
nah, it's just one of those things. It's like, it's really hard to like make something like that, invest into it, try to get your money back in time. And then eventually I was like, I can't devote, there was a bit of a communication problem. And so I was like, I can't devote any more into this. Just pay me back what I put in. Not involved enough, um, to be this high end into it. I did a few like some projects that he paid me as a contractor on, but I was like, nah, I'm
Sure.
done. I'm done. I'll just focus on the webcomic. Ha 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 ha.
uh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Um,
you know.
no, no. I mean, I honestly, it needed a hindsight that I wasn't old enough to have yet. That's all.
Hmm.
So it's
Right.
like I had the talent, I just didn't have a muse.
Right. And now it's just like everyone's tired. That's a lot of work.
There's a
You're
lot of
making
work.
flutes.
I'm making flutes. I'm still finishing my house.
You have a child.
Oh yeah, yeah, that thing, that little gremlin,
Thing.
little ankle biter. Yeah,
Stop it. He's not a gremlin.
he's not a gremlin. He's not. He's adorable.
Oh,
He's a piece of work, but of course, what do you get? What do you expect when you mix Jess and me together? Um,
the world is doomed.
eh,
I'm here to watch it.
Honestly, I keep on telling him, use your powers for good. Just use your powers for good. That's all I
Hmm.
ask. Just make sure they're used
Yep.
for good. That's all. That's all we need.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Is try to guide him.
He's got my confidence and great looks. It's just like it's a formula for just like world domination. Just use it for good. Use it for good. Just
Right. But he's also got Jess's mastermind, so this could be dangerous.
well, yes, yeah. He can.
Right.
He thinks stuff. We have to sit there. And go. Wait. How did you get there? That's amazing.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's observant. It's great. But yeah. So get back to this. So yeah, like
Sidetrack. The kid's cute, but anyways. So
I
you show
know.
up in this Lynx costume.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the funny thing. So like I wake up in the morning. I have my own hotel room. I don't know. I don't have haven't made enough friends to start
Hmm.
tormenting them with my snoring. I have my own hotel room. I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, all right, well, I got to go get the artist alley table, but I want to get into my costume. So I'm gonna get in my costume, then I'll go get my artist alley table signed in. And so like early, I glue on the mask, I paint it, putting like little daubs of hair, little patches, little at a time, little pieces, trimming. I'm like, Jesus H Christ, why didn't I test this? I was gonna try to put on like just the very base layer of fur, matching the colors of the fur to
Hmm.
the makeup, going all the way, going around, white around the nose, and I'm like, all right, I'm in it. Okay, I
Well,
gotta
it's
put this
tomorrow.
on. All right, how do I get into my costume? No, no. I'm like, okay, so it took me. It still took me just under an hour. It makes sense. It'll be faster the other part, and half it was already painted. So like, all right, that's all right. Then I'm like, how the hell do I get into my costume with a cat face on? I didn't test
Oh
this one.
no.
Um, so I managed to squeak in there because I also had like pointy
Yep.
ears, little pointy cat ears on my real ears. And I get in there, and I'm like, how do I zip up? And I'm like, lanyard. I didn't think about that either. How do you zip this damn thing up? I grab my lanyard, hook it onto the zipper, throw it over my shoulder, zip it up. All of the wetsuits for surfers. Like, okay, there we go, we're in it. Ha ha ha. And I get into it and everything like that. And like, I put on the hat, hold the scythe over my shoulder, and I pull like the first bag that we're gonna need to with the stuff for the table. And I walk out my door. I walk down to the elevator. Take a turn to the elevator section, and I scare the crap out of a normie.
Oh my god, it's the Beast from that 1990s show. It's Ron Perlman.
That's scary enough. No,
Oh no.
how excited you are that you saw Ron Perlman. But yeah, so like I'm just like
I'm sorry. I'm so
I'm like
sorry.
crap. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm a nerd. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Don't mind the sickle. It's fine. This is fine. But you know what's crazy? First of all, wait. So was the only person in the elevator? Because let's talk about that for a second.
Well, no, that's where it progressed to. This was just before the
Oh God.
elevator. So then, like she shrieked, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and she's just like, what's going on? And I'm like, anime convention. And so then the elevator rings, and she's hesitant to either join me or go first or anything like that. So I just gestured, hand gestured, like, go, it's all right.
Right.
Not
It's
gonna do
fine.
anything.
Not a real cat.
It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, so I write that elevator down, and then like the elevator stops more floors, and then more people come on, and she's trying to kind of really get what's going on now. And I'm just like, okay, do. And everyone else is like, what the hell is this in the corner of the elevator? And so then I'm like, all right, so this is also the Heinz. So this is the first time being at the Heinz. I've never been to the Heinz. Never been to that Sheridan. So I don't leave the lobby that then you walk by where like registration is now and then
Yep.
go out into the Pru. I walk out the level above and I go out to the balcony that looks out to the door. Like, how do I get down there? How do I go? Where do I go? I'm a lost feral cat.
With my sickle in my bag.
So anybody who knows Anime Boston now, if like you took like the Artist Alley ramp to get into the convention center, that's where I got lost. I got lost there on that level. I'm like, where do I go? I'm not going to jump over. So I finally like get down and like walk out there and walk into the convention. I'm getting stopped. I'm like, hi, hello, ciao. And so then I get to the artist registration, which again, like it's in the hallway. It's like the first table is the people running it, and the rest of the hallway is like the hallway they use now for like the other convention promotion tables. And so like, well, I'm sitting here with clawed gloves on, and they're like, "Could you sign?" I'm like, "No,
No.
okay." No, so I'm like, I'm pulling. I managed to pull them off. I sign everything. People are taking photos of me. So there's photos of me out there all cat up with human hands. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit here and wait for my cohort who wants to be a prop company.
Whee!
And I just sat there. I'm just like, all right, now I'm sitting here like a cat.
Lick, lick, lick.
Like,
Hairball.
and so then it went the day, and then like they also had like registration that day, and I hooked up with my partner now, my little cohort, dressed up as Harl, and we went off. We did judging, and which was out in the hallway. Everything's out in the hallway. So just outside main events, like off to the left, where like now they have like a food kiosk thing. They just did the judging out in the open, like with the entire loud
Well, because I mean,
hallway.
2005, I don't even think they had access to the whole convention center then, did they?
No, they didn't rent it. Yeah, so they didn't
Yeah,
even
because they
rent the
didn't
third
need to, because
floor.
there wasn't 10 billion of them. I found a photo album, which I sent a picture to Rob of him in his Lynx costume, because I took a sneaky picture, because, again, I didn't know him yet. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking all these pictures from 2005, and I think the first thing I said to you was, like, look how empty these pictures are. Like, I got pictures of people in their
Yeah.
costumes with nobody behind them. And they were taken like midday. Like, that's what the Heinz used to be. It was like there was people, but like it was just it was so big a space for like not that many people. And now you go to Anime Boston and you just like look over the sea of people in the same areas, and it's just wild to me. It's just crazy to think like that's what like that convention's become, and it's amazing. But at the same time, it's like, man, I miss the days when I could see straight through.
Well, that's great, but I also like the fact that now that people can't play Duck Duck Goose anymore.
They
That
still
was a
play Marco
thing.
Polo.
Oh, I always scream Tetsuo. I've maybe three times got a
Mm-hmm,
Kaneda
mm-hmm,
back.
mm-hmm. Nice.
I would scream Tetsuo because I figure if you want Inuyasha, that's
Yeah,
too easy. That's too easy. I got to
right.
make it a challenge.
Like someone needs to know this random
So.
anime thing. Come on. Call yourself fans.
All right, so still on that Friday. So I wore it for majority of the day, but I was also like, I don't want to kill myself this weekend. I
Right.
still have to wear it tomorrow. So I'm like, all right, it's the afternoon. I'll get out of it. I'll get into my cities and go back to the table. So now here's the thing: is that I'm traveling through the convention,
Mm-hmm.
meeting all these people, and I got a few people who knew who I was, which really made me happy because I knew I
Right.
was obscure. But I got in an elevator with some other people who weren't there for the convention, people who had no idea
Mm-hmm.
what was going on, and they're just like really weirded out. And I'm like, okay, I gotta at least be nice. I gotta like show that this is just a thing. People underneath it are perfectly fine.
Right.
And I was just talking. And there was just like, and you like this? I'm like, well, I kind of want to get out of it right now, but so I'm just like, okay, whatever. And so then like I go up to my hotel room, I get everything off, clean myself up, take a shower, all good. I actually what's really funny is that I grew my hair out over the year, and so I still had a little bit of Vash blonde hanging out in the
Right.
back. I had longer hair. Because I'm just like remembering like how I looked back in that costume, but still not normal though. I'm in regular clothes. It's still different. But so I wash up and I am like going out in the hallway to go to the elevator and I bump into these people again. But now
You're a normal person.
I'm a normal person, right? Am I?
I like to
Right.
think you
Okay.
were at one point, and
And
then
then
the
the
dark
dark
times
times happened.
happened.
The dark times. No, but it's still, I was like, I'm like, hi, I know this is gonna seem really strange, but we met earlier and I was a giant cat. They're like, oh yeah, yeah. And they're just like looking at me. I'm like, I just kind of wanted to say hi again because I noticed it was you, and just like here I am, just being
This is what I
normal.
look like when I'm not a cat.
Normal the other way, but yeah. But I like moments like those because it's like it helps maybe people who will never be aware of this scene just to be like
Yeah.
understanding of the scene. And that's back then. Like now, everyone thinks Comic Con and all that stuff. Like I've had coworkers who have no idea what's going on, but they know of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it was just one of those early times. Where just like, oh, I thought that was nice. But then, like going back down, just as a normal person, it was like, wow, I'm Clark Kent.
I
I can
know.
I can just I can get through this crowd. I can
I know.
bathroom when I
I miss
want.
those days too. I did that to myself, though. That's my own
Yeah.
fault. That is my own fault.
That's your own fault. Like, look at me, look at me. Why you keep looking at me?
Why
Stop looking
am I
at
on the
me. I
stage?
want to
Why do
go
I
to the
have this microphone?
bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Stupid.
Stupid. But yeah, so like, so this here's the thing. So then like people started, carrying out like, oh, the Vash from last year is that Link's over there, or he has an artist alley table, and then Katy Hunt comes to my table and offers
Hi, I'm
hello.
Katie. I just wanted to like introduce myself. I really liked your costume. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So we go fuck myself over there. I'll see you later. But first, let me buy some of your stuff.
Go in the corner
Pretty
and sulk.
much. Uh,
Nah, I don't think I.
Oh no, no, no! I really sound like it. I make it sound a lot worse than it was, but like literally, it wasn't like a it was definitely not like a hey, how are you kind of introduction thing. It was definitely kind of like a oh yeah, hi, and I'm like oh yeah, okay. Which now, if I ever got that response from you, I'd probably like wail you. So, but you'd never.
Yeah, then I start
Yeah,
laughing.
exactly. Like how dare you talk to me like this? Uh,
So yeah, so like that was like it was fun because it was like also getting back into something you did
oh
a year
yeah.
before. It was like oh this is kind of fun. Like yeah, this is why I like this. I'm feeling it again. And so come Saturday, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it kind of in reverse. I'm gonna kind of take the morning off and then get into it because I'm going to be in it for like
Right.
the heavier part of the day. And so then like I'm meeting a bunch of people again who now see me as a person, not as the cat, and I'm like recalling them, and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "The cat guy. I'm the cat
Meow.
guy. I shaved.
Tall guy, big sickle,
I,
lots
I
of
did.
hair.
I did a full head to toe nair, uh, no, but like above the artist side, like people who like who drew stuff for me from the day before, they wanted to give me, they're like, because it's like, oh, I can like walk around, I'm gonna like check out everyone else's art, and then like reintroduce myself, and so then like I go up, and I get back into it, I get back on out. I do the fur better this time, and a little bit more like directional. I'm like, oh, this is doing good. But then when I zip up, the
I
zipper breaks.
remember you saying that.
So just the clasp, like the zipper itself stayed, but like the little tag fell off. I'm like, God damn it! So I'm kind of stuck in this for the whole day anyway. I mean, thankfully, like pants are different. I can function, but like, damn. But then I go back down, and then this is one probably like still one of the most cutest
Mhm.
moments of my life. I'm sitting here as a giant
Like you do.
feral beast,
Right, right.
like one does, just go out there. Like, I'm a feral beast. But I walk around, and people commenting, people.
Because I mean, even if they didn't know what it is, like it was still a badass looking costume. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's when you see something good, you're kind of like, it's like sometimes like I find animes I didn't know about
right.
because I'm not a cosplayer. It's kind of one of those things of like, it looks good, it looks interesting, it'll go on. But what I'm getting to is like this really cute moment. A small girl dressed up as Kiki Delivery, and she is just enamored to meet me. She's like, I have to talk to him. I have to talk to him. So out on the internet somewhere, there's a picture of me crouched down on one knee talking to this little Kiki. And we just had one of the most
A
delightful
big kitty.
conversations. We had, yeah, yeah, no, a little older than that. A little older than that, but she's like, I just love your costume, and I like commented about her bow, and she had a little broom and everything like that. And it was just adorable. But there's a photo out there, someone caught it of me like hunched down
Aww.
talking to her, and it was just like, oh my god, that is just adorable. Which then is this weird thing that's happened in my life was whenever I cosplayed a villain or a scary person, that's when I get the most
Of
children who
course.
want photos. Like I was Aeon from Chrono Crusade. I was Aeon, and like I had big bat wings, and like all the kids wanted to have photos with me.
What
I'm
is
just like, what the
this?
hell? What is this? I mean, I understand when Jess dresses up as like a princess or anything resembling a princess,
Oh
the
yeah.
kids go clamoring. She's Daisy, and she's like, oh, I got to be like Disney on. Like I know it's Mario, but I got to be like Disney
Well,
on.
like I said, I understand the big cat because I mean, cat. Everyone loves cats. Who doesn't love cats? It's like the other one though. Like, yeah, that's weird. Because that was like a white
It's
pleather,
weird. It's weird.
bat wing, Sephiroth wig, underbust
Underbust
corset. So
corset,
sorry, I forgot. My apologies. Like I had to
bare
watch. I had
chested.
to watch you get
No.
in it. Okay, I remember.
No. Um, no, so you get through the day, get to the masquerade. So then I have a skit, and so my great idea for this skit was to come out to
Hmm.
really badass music, and then have my back to the crowd, much as like all the villains in the
Yep.
video RPGs do, and then I turn around, and then I lip sync Puss in Boots from Shrek 2, and then Harl comes out during this whole too, and we pose, and then I start coughing up a furball.
And then she picked it up, right? Like,
Well, the thing was, in my coughing, I was able to palm an actual fur ball from the leftover of like what I
right.
used for the fur. I like made it into a ball, and I managed to like plop it out.
It's like, no.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah. And then I walk away. And then she picks it up, and she's like all happy. She's holding Lynx's
I remember
furball
that. She's like, squishy. And bounced off stage with it.
and bounced off stage. Yeah,
Oh.
and this was the
Yeah,
caliber of skits back then.
high test.
Yeah, high test. So afterwards, and then like that was a skit. So that was great. So then like we watch all the other skits backstage, and my zipper finally lets go.
Boosh.
I'm not in it. We're like, oh, well, at least what we can do is like, there's a cape, it'll hide the back. Could we just like safety pin the top just to keep it
Hmm.
on me and stuff like that? And I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the masquerade, stuff like that. And then a staffer comes up and like hits me on the shoulder. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, there's a Bernard outside to see you. A Bernard? Bernard. Who? Bernard? I don't know a Bernard. And then they say, it's your godfather? I'm like, holy shit. My godfather, his name
Bear,
is
yeah.
Bernd. He just goes Bernard because no one else can pronounce it. So this is how security was back then. My godfather just walked in with his wife because he heard I was in town, and he just
Hey,
walked into the convention and found the main events and bugged a staff person to go find me.
you go find my godson. He's a big cat.
Yeah, he had a big kitten, and yeah, so I went on and, like, I was like, "Hi, how's it going?" And yeah, he took like a picture. He took a picture of me, and we actually I got asked for footage of that costume for like a cosplay book. I have like somewhere lost on the shelf of like how to be a cat person. I'm like, right here, fine, whatever. I'm in a book, unpublished. Yeah, so that was just weird. So then, like, we go through the ceremony, they go through the rest of the masquerade, A&B stuff like that, and I can't remember if they pulled us aside that year or they just blatted out who it was and then waited the awkward time for people to get like out of their seats
Right.
and like run up. But they were doing like interviews at that time of like, how'd you do your costume, stuff like that, like short little snippets, which take forever. So that's why we
Right.
don't do them anymore. But it was just so funny is that like I was being interviewed on stage in front of everybody, and my one of my fake teeth flies out of my mouth.
Oh, you're falling apart.
Oh man, I was in this for like hours at that point. And so I'm just like, oh great. And the damn teeth maybe had a lisp anyway. So I'm just like, yes, I'm in my fifth.
I'm in this costume.
I said, I found it. It's disgusting. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm very big and scary, but I have a lisp.
Hello there.
Feel me. But yeah, so yeah, and so I won best equivalent to best in show the first year, and this year I won specifically best script and acting because apparently my timing of hawking up a fur ball was
Perfect.
right on cue. Perfect. So I got that, and both me and Nahara, which she did a phenomenal job on hers too. So we got a craftsmanship best
Mm-hmm.
first place for that. So yeah, so I managed to win another award.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
wait. So what did you officially like win? Like costume or was it performance?
I won two awards, one for costume, one for performance, but
Right.
it
Like you
wasn't
got like
best in show.
individual. Like
Yeah,
right.
individual things. Yeah.
So another trophy, and everyone's of course
Mhm.
like, "Oh my god, you're looking great!" Because then, like at that point, once you win Best in Show at the Masquerade, it's like everybody's on you.
Yeah, leaving like
Right,
took another two
right,
hours to get out of the convention. Other than 5 hours, I was just having fun seeing people and everything was done. Like you're done. You worked for that skit or you worked for getting that done, and now the performance is done. You're just like, yeah, let's just
yeah.
walk around and have fun with everything. Nothing matters
Ride the
anymore. It's
high.
all done. What happened
You
happened.
ride the high.
But yeah, it's at that point, like by the time I finally got back to the hotel room to take it off, it's been 13
Ugh.
hours of wearing it. Yeah, I didn't have to use spirit gun remover. I
Blech.
sweated the whole thing off.
Gross, but effective.
This was like, oh, it's peeling off. Okay, look. Woo.
A free face waxing, and I'm not a
Um,
cat anymore. How exciting!
I'm just glad I
Yeah,
wasn't
I mean
allergic to
that would not
spirit
have been
gum
the day to find out.
because, oh no,
Nope, no sir,
no,
no.
no, no,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
no, no.
So then the journey continues after.
I mean, yeah, the journey continues after where I decided to make a 7-foot robot that did not happen right
No.
away
Oh,
at
Conti.
all.
Was it was such a
Oh.
good costume. Such a good prop.
Accessory again with this, Katie. It's the second time I corrected to you. Best accessory. The title of the next
It is going to
episode.
be the title of the next episode. Because that's my favorite Rob story. More because I'm just upset for you. Not because like it's not funny. No, it's not funny. It's
Well,
well,
I mean, for everyone else, they all can all have their emotional trial with that, and like for me, it was more just like I don't give a shit. That really, honestly, because by the time that thing finally was made to quasi
Mhm.
function at a convention, I didn't care. I didn't care. I needed the masquerade as like a force to strive for, which unfortunately I failed twice before I finally got him on stage. But yeah, that's a
I
big
know, but I
episode for
love that.
itself.
I love that robot costume.
I love that I did it because it's like I did that.
But
Like,
again, it is its own little craftsmanship journey episode. And you
oh yeah,
always leave them wanting
oh
more,
yeah.
Rob.
Oh, okay. Do you want more, guys?
The silence. There's no one else here. It's just us, babe.
I, did, I didn't
I know
know
the voices
crickets
in
could
your
be
head are
so
probably
loud.
cheering real loud. Yes, they do want more. I want more. You know I always want you on the show. It took me like a year to get you on here. I'm not letting you go
Oh yeah.
now. You're stuck here.
Oh
You're
no, I'm
stuck.
stuck. I'm
Is
stuck.
there anything you'd like to promote while you're here, babe?
Um, no, just the usual. Either go to
Mm-hmm.
animecons.com and just
Live your life
leave it
there.
right there. Or if you want, we're finishing up all the information on
Nice.
sketchandshiba.com for just basically kind of our
Mm-hmm.
online
Mm-hmm.
portfolio of just the costumes we've made that we've actually photographed because I didn't photograph anything in the first years.
Yeah. Who did? I hate myself
I know.
now.
Come on, it was like the favorite thing to do after con, scrolling the internet trying to find people
Well,
that posted
because
photos of
everybody
you.
didn't have a cell phone that had a camera on it, and because they all used disposables, and or they used their cameras, they had to wait till they got home to upload them. It was rough. People don't even
I
know.
don't know.
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
What
But yeah,
am I? I'm just,
that's it. I
yeah,
guess
I'm just peddling my book.
just yeah.
Go buy my book. It's a pretty good book. Did Elizabeth give you the book, by the way? Good,
Oh
perfect.
yeah, it's
Okay.
on our shelf.
Okay, I gave a few out to some of my friends because that's what you do when you write a book. You give it out to people that helped you like make book possible. And I just remembered, I was like, wait, I gave one to Elizabeth. I hope she gave it to you guys.
No, she gave it to me. She quite literally walked up to me at work and
Perfect.
slapped me with it. She's like, "Boom, there, yours." I'm like,
Yay!
"Yay!"
All right.
I read through it and put it on the shelf of all our published friends.
Yay! Awesome. Rob, thanks again for coming on. I can't wait to have you on again.
Cut
Yeah,
it.
right.
It's
Okay,
done.
we'll
Let's do
turn
the
this one
next
off
one
and
now.
try again. Yeah. And guys, thanks for tuning in this week. We will see you next time. Bye.